It's about hunters. No Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Kyle Ron fans, and black pills will be banned. I am sick and tired of hearing about it. I don't care anymore. I am a Star Wars fan. I am not a I am not somebody who is going to crap all over something just to do it. Okay, a lot of other people can. That's not me. Whoa! Sorry, guys. I'm in my dining room because it's sunny and cold here, and the light's bad in the kitchen. So anyway, let's start this out. So tomorrow, at midnight, the Book of Boba Fett episode 2 or Mandalorian episode 18 opens up. I don't know how long it's going to be. I do agree with some people saying that it was a little bit too short. Episode 1. Hey, Planet Musk, how you doing? But as far as you know, basically the content, I'm pretty happy with it. I want to address one of the trolls that showed up on my premiere video. First off, in the OT, we don't know anything about Boba Fett, so your complaints are bullshit. Okay, because you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. And I am gonna say that about you because it's true. First off, what you gotta take into consideration is that we have the prequels. We know what he looked like as a kid. We know what he looks like under the mask. Okay, so him taking off his mask is not to me a big deal. But I watch Star Wars. I am a fan, and I like what I've seen. If it's good, I like it. It doesn't bother me, and if you're open-minded, it shouldn't bother you either. Okay, but if it does, that's your problem, not mine. And don't bring your problem to me. Okay? All right. Anyway, so we've got this. We do have a foundation for his, let's see, his father. Hey, G-Man. Oh, I am too. I mean, I am too. I'm just just let the show happen. You know what I'm saying? Just quit bitching, quit it. You're acting like a bunch of old women, and let the show happen. Okay. Um. Anyway, we know Boba Fett from the Clone Wars. We know he ended up kind of befriending Aura Singh. Okay, so we know where he comes from. Okay, now that none of that is inconsistent. Okay, now why would he help the Rhodian? You know, maybe he wasn't as bad a person as we thought he was, or maybe that thing about bounty hunter's honor, maybe it's consistent with that, or his kind of honor. Remember, he's his father's son. And I think episode 2 is going to answer a lot of questions. I really, really do. It seems to me like they emptied episode 1 of a lot of things because they wanted to hook you. And apparently people need paint by numbers or whatever. I mean, have it explained in crayon for them to understand it. It wasn't slow for me. He's not inconsistent. And I think the disappointing thing about it is not Boba Fett, it's the black pills who just are, shitting on Star Wars to shit on Star Wars. Hey, Dave. So what do I expect? I expect to see more of him trying to consolidate his power over Jabba's holdings, his vassals. I think there's a revenge hint here we're not getting. Okay, I think there's a revenge hint. I think that it's going to be very interesting going forward. And I'm going to tell the Black Pills, I have no fucking cares if you don't like this show, but don't piss in my cornflakes. Okay? Don't. But I want to talk a little bit about the video I just put up. Personnel is policy. And we could start seeing them tomorrow, Vader. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Han will show up until the last episode. So it'll be maybe at the end of February. But I don't think we're going to see any big well, there were big cameos. The Trandoshan that brings the Wookiee hide. See, these are things even friends of mine did not pick up. This is a callback to the Clone Wars in the episode where the Trandoshans were on Kashyyyk or somewhere hunting Wookiees. Okay? That is a Wookiee hide. That is a Chewbacca hide. Okay? And that thing carries it in as an offering to Boba Fett. Okay? Boba Fett is not he's not a stranger to Wookiee hides. He had Wookiee pelts, scalps on his belt, if you remember. Okay, but the Trandoshan that carried that in, Scotchy or Scotty or whatever his last name is, that was Robert Rodriguez. That was him. Okay. Then we had Madame Garza. That was Jennifer Beals. Okay. So the cameos are starting to kind of seep in. Right? They're starting to kind of show up. Not the big ones. Not the ones we can expect. Okay. So, and I think we're going to get more of a reason why Boba Fett is staying on Tatooine, looking to consolidate his power over Jabba's holdings, his vassals. And the reason why I think it is because it's revenge. But I also think there's somebody else at work here. And I think we're going to end up meeting that person. And there's a lot of room here. The way he came out of the Sarlacc pit wasn't necessarily like the EU, but may I remind everybody, if you ever watched The Return of the Jedi, his jetpack didn't work. So in that instance, the EU isn't consistent, okay, with that. The jetpack was broken. How? Boba Fett, where's Boba Fett? And there he goes. All right. Jetpack didn't work. But the jetpack, but the flamethrowers worked. Okay. So that in a way, I got to grab something here real quick. That in a way helps, excuse me. That in a way is part of the EU. It's not the exact story. But again, developing a novel and putting it to the movie screen or TV screen is way different than just going, this happened, this is how we're going to film it. It's not how they do it. That's not how they do it. Okay, they can't. Most of the time, excuse me, they can't. So, I mean, even with Peter Jackson's long, glorious Lord of the Rings, he didn't follow the story exactly because he couldn't. Okay, it's just when you're translating something to a teleplay in a script to go on the big screen or a flat screen, you're going to lose a lot of the narration. It's just the natural progression of things. All right. So when they did that and they showed him using the flamethrowers on his wrists, that wasn't inconsistent with the movies. Oh, I don't know, Troll. Did they? Did he see them in the Sarlacc pit? I mean, that thing was pretty big. and you happen to be in one little spot of it, okay? Why you're nitpicking to be a dick, okay? Stop being a dick, okay? All right? I've had it up to here with you, all right? My channel, you're gonna listen, you're gonna learn. You're gonna open up your narrow little mind just a little bit, because I used to be like you. I'm not anymore. It's called being an adult and looking up things and doing research and being open-minded enough to say, okay, that actually works. So what you guys want, you nitpickers, nose pickers, no, you're being a dick. And you were a dick in the comments on the other video, okay? All right, I'm not asking you to agree with me, but what I am asking you is to open up your mind a little bit. How is it, I want you to respond to me on this, is it consistent for Boba Fett to use his jetpack when it was broken? You tell me that. That's EU shit. That's part of the EU that didn't make any sense. All right? All right? The fact that Boba Fett didn't run into anybody but a stormtrooper who, I mean, how long does it take for a... No, I'm not dictating. But you're on my channel. Okay? All right? You're on my channel. All right? You're the one basically telling everybody you shouldn't like this and that it's inconsistent and all the rest of this shit. Okay? I'm not dictating. But I want you to shut up and listen. All right? You're on my channel. Okay? All right? How big is a fucking Sarlacc pig? I don't know. Maybe there were different stomachs and different chambers. I don't know. I don't know the biology of that thing. All I do know is that it took 1,000 years for those things to digest their food. So that stormtrooper there, all right, you're being a dick. You really are. First off, how far down was the Sarlacc? Where did how big was it underneath? You don't think, you emote. You're being anti-Star Wars. You're not giving Jon Favreau a chance. And I think you're one of those people who want to see it all burn down. All right? You're like the Joker in The Dark Knight. Some people just want to see the world burn. And as far as the other channels that have black pills that don't talk about it, oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right? I can't imagine what they're saying about this because it's Disney, and that's another thing. You're not considering any of this. You're not considering any of this stuff that's going on because you're upset. Okay? Now, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on without you constantly interrupting me, acting like you're Leland Chee or something, or George Lucas himself. All right? All right? First off, you don't know the biology of a Sarlacc. You don't know how big that thing is. That thing probably had chambers of stomachs. Okay? There's a stormtrooper laying there. How long is that stormtrooper there? Let's ask a question. How long does it take a Sarlacc to digest its food? 1,000 years. Remember? Do you remember Return of the Jedi? I do. Okay? I do. I remember that line very well. And I remember Han saying, well, in that case, never mind. All right? So that stormtrooper could have been there for over a decade. Okay? The Sarlacc reminds me of an inside-out spider in some ways. All right? It's got these organisms that fall into it. And it just slowly does whatever. And its only real enemy, well, it can't really fight back unless you fall into it. But crate dragons eat them. Okay? That's one thing. Now, the inconsistencies that people are looking for are not even there anymore, are not there. If you don't like the way he's characterized, may I remind you, you already knew what he looked like. All right. You already knew it. And he was not a mystery in the Clone Wars unless you didn't watch the Clone Wars. Okay. Little Boba looked like a Chucky doll. Okay. He looked like Chucky. He's basically his father. Okay. Which I think may have something to do with this. He loses his armor, which is a part of his identity. And we don't really know how he's going to evolve here. We don't know why. Okay, he has a point. We haven't gotten to the point. Okay? Now, tomorrow, they haven't shown any trailers. They haven't done any real background about tomorrow's episode. But I would say I think it's probably going to be a little bit better. I think there's going to be more character revelations. And I think we're going to probably know more about what he's up to than we do now. I think the only problem I have with the show is that it was too short. Other than that, it's like you already knew who he was. He ceased being a mystery when when he opened the door to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, so stop. All right. The only place he was a mystery was Star Wars, and he had 5 lines. And so many people were in love with his uniform. It's like, anyway, so let's go further. I think part of the problem that some people are having goes deeper, and it goes beyond TLJ. It really does. If you've been around long enough, you've seen Lucasfilm treat fans like shit for a long time. Vanguard of that was Pablo Hidalgo. The fact that they befriended and gave a lot of access to YouTube channels like I can't see this. Well, that or maybe Obi-Wan got into a fight there, or maybe they just fell in. I mean, but I'll go back to what I was talking about. So there are a lot of YouTube channels that were connected to Lucasfilm, a lot of websites, a lot of internet personalities. And it basically, the mission was to get rid of us as fans. Because magically, the fans they wanted would just appear. Because everybody in the world thinks the same way they do after a certain age or before a certain age. Okay. It's okay. And they went out about ruthlessly attacking the fan base everywhere they could go. I mean, hello, Greedo, Steele Saunders with the Your Star Wars series suck stickers that he gave to Pablo and Ryan Johnson. The fanboy tears mugs. That personalities that Lucasfilm posed with. There was a connection to a certain small group of fans who had big channels, big presences on the internet. And that in of itself hurt the franchise. I know plenty of people who walked away from it after TFA came out, before TFA came out. And the reason why is because of getting rid of the EU. And then if you were complaining about getting rid of the EU, you were attacked. All right. And that has left it's kind of like the abused kid. Valiant Renegade and Cameron used that, and talked about it, and uh, it was very, it's a very good analogy. You know, the abused dog, all right? But it works both ways, all right? The fans got upset, and then a bunch of people who were angry about, you know, what happened in TLJ, or walked out of TLJ liking it, and then realizing that everybody else hated it, so they suddenly switched their opinion, uh, grew their channels. These are the people that, no matter what happens, no matter what Jon Favreau does, no matter what Disney does, these are the people that will crap all over it. And they've created a group of fans who, no matter what, Boba Fett's inconsistent. No, it's not. It's not inconsistent. He's not. If you've ever watched the prequels, if you actually watch Clone Wars, it is going right down the line for who he is. So I'm sick of hearing it. Okay, not inconsistent at all. When you, but this group of fans is now everywhere. No matter how, I mean, you know, there's a group that attacks The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is great. Well, you know, that it's not them exactly. It's 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 not that exactly. It's anymore. There, I mean, if you go, and I posted that thing that Pablo posted about the internet telling him what he does for his job, which I'm like, well, do we even have a job? It would defang uh, both sides in this, and in this. Oh yeah, you're right, Dave. You're right. I mean, there are plenty of people at Lucasfilm who need to go, and it would defang the black pills hugely if Disney went public when they got rid of these people. We're into day two, basically, of Susan Arnold's ascension to the chairman of the boardship at Disney. Nothing so far. And I don't expect her to be moving in a direction that is positive for a while. But she has to know, at least with Lucasfilm, you could you could shut up a lot of your naysayers by saying in Variety, in Deadline, in the Hollywood Reporter, that Lucasfilm is laying off several executives in order to, I mean, come up with like, they're slimming down or whatever, and naming who they are, and having Pablo be one of them. Because, look, we didn't know Carrie Hart was gone. Somebody had to go to the Lucasfilm website and say, why isn't she on the list anymore? And she was literally the worst of the worst. Short, fat little bitch, literally the worst of the worst. She's now working for Ryan Johnson, I believe. All right. She's gone. And we didn't find out about that till we started digging around, and they had to say they did. Chuck Wendig went public. They fired me from writing the Darth Vader. When is it going to happen? I don't know, Primeval. I really, really don't. I wish it would just happen. It should have happened last year. But you've got people like Bob Iger, who isn't. Oh, Ben, you're right about that. Bob Iger would never, he kicked the can down the road till it was out of his way and he's gone now. All right. He left a giant mess at Disney for Susan Arnold and Bob Chapek to clean. And Lucasfilm is a big gaping hole in that. Is a big gaping hole. And I think both those people know that. They know that they've got a problem. I don't know how they're going to fix it, but they do know that there's something has to be done. Okay. I don't know when it's going to happen, but personnel is policy, and to do it publicly, to have it out there saying, do to Pablo what they did to Gina. Paulo Hidalgo no longer works at Lucasfilm. I'm not sure he does anyway, but he sure acts like he does, and then he acts like he doesn't. I don't know. It's very interesting to me, the fact that they could fix a lot of goodwill, I think, and kind of get this Gina shit behind us if they would do something like that. Because I guarantee you, Pablo Hidalgo was the leader of that whole thing. You know, there's a great cartoon called Karma, and it's a guy sitting. All right, it's a circle of dominoes with the guy pushing one over, and they go around and they go around, and the last domino hits him. All right. When I think of Pablo and I think of that cartoon, what will it take for them to publicly say, get the hell out of here and never come back? These are the things we need to ask. You know? These, Dave, that's a bot. And what's gonna take? Is he still there? The guy doesn't follow anything he works for. I mean, he supposedly still works, you know. Well, here's the deal. It would be a sign of good faith to the fans. It would be a signal. But then we've got fans out there who look at the last episode of The Mandalorian, The Rescue, and don't understand what all the implications were. Okay? They don't understand that Grogu is literally a shortened George Lucas. That's what his name is. They don't get it. They don't get it. Oh yeah, it's a great meme. It is. I would love to have a picture of him sitting there doing that, you know, and then have it sent to him. He's really, I mean, so he's probably the leader of the band that got Gina fired or told she wasn't going to come back. That's in the past. But he also caused trouble with Star Wars Theory, who I could take your leave, but the guy didn't deserve what he did. When that came out, he should have been gone. And so we have to apologize. As far as I know, Star Wars Theory never took the apology. Good for him. However, that being said, why is Pablo, if he's still there, why is he still there? This, again, with your face, who you have, this face in the crowd, who you have there, and he put himself there. He was the one that went on podcasts. He was the one that told people in private they were getting rid of the EU before they announced it. And then other people that were in on the podcast were outraged and said, you can't do that. And then they got blackballed. Okay, that's a story. He's the one that would go on Twitter attacking fans. All right? Then whines and says, well, this isn't really my job. It's like, look, dude, you made a choice to go on Twitter. You are the narcissist that needs social media attention. You're the one that did this to yourself. If you'd have kept your mouth shut and been consistent in trying to do good Star Wars instead of this joke called the High Republic, you wouldn't have so many people out there wanting to kick your ass. Okay? Which is how angry people are right now. Imagine the happiness if we found out they got rid of that Carrie Hart was fired. All right? And at that point, it would have given people hope. And that because they know that these people are going after the fans. You can't not know it. Susan Arnold has to know that. You can't be that detached from reality not to know that. Okay, so we know, she has to know that. They know because Chuck Wendig said what he said about Judge Kavanaugh during the hearings and got himself fired. Very publicly, by the way, because he made it public. So why can't we get Pablo? And where's Auntie Gutierrez? Why isn't she still doing that Star Wars show? Where'd that show go? Okay? Where'd it go? Right? You gotta put your best foot forward. Personnel is policy. And as long as you've got people who mock and ridicule and attack the fans, your policy is, I don't want to make any money and I want people to hate my product. And even if you are making good product, and like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are trying to, Robert Rodriguez, they're going to get shit on by the black pills and attacked and ridiculed because the steps taken to show to the fans that they are listening have not been taken. It's not that, we get these cryptic things, in our rumors from, Doomcock and WAW Pro and my, contacts. And it's like, I don't want cryptic anymore. Quit fucking with us. Fix it. Okay? Disney, by the virtue of not being public with this, by not taking the bull publicly by the horns, is giving people who only exist to black pill them power. Well, I don't think it's going to happen at all at the same time. I don't expect Kennedy to last beyond Indiana Jones wrapping, and it's going to wrap this month. That's what James Mangold said in a tweet. So, and then we've got post-production, but here's the deal. All right, let's go back in the Wayback Machine. When Chapek last year did the Disney Plus, come here, Koji. When the Disney Plus event thing came on, and we got a lot of Marvel stuff, but we didn't get hardly any Star Wars stuff, that was a signal something is going on with Star Wars. And this first episode of Mandalorian, or of Boba Fett, if anything, seemed tentative. And there are times when you just gotta say, fuck it, and go for it. And they did not do that, and they should have. Okay? My opinion is they're hiding stuff going on. You know, and they don't need to anymore. Tell us what's going on. Let us decide. Stop worrying. In fact, if I was the investors, I'd be looking at them going, we want to know publicly what's going on. We want to see people who have good money happily spending it. And this is happening, this is happening. You need to make these personnel changes and you haven't done it yet. That, and do it publicly so the fans know. Like the Star Wars Hotel. That's Kennedy's fault. That's Iger's fault. And you've got black pills attacking Bob Chapek for it. Bob Chapek had to answer to Bob Iger. Duh. You know, it's really not that simple to blame Chapek when he might have been the head of the parks, but he still had people to answer to. And Bob Iger was all up in Kennedy's grill at the time. Of course, Kathy, of course, you know, those people who have money don't want to spend money at Disney. All right? So we'll do what you want. Your magical your magically appearing audience. All right, where is it? Where's the merch being bought? You know, no one's buying that merch. All right. I have a Grand Admiral Thrawn coming. All right. I just put money down for Leia. All right. A new Leia coming out. The sculpt is magnificent, but you don't see any sequel trilogy shit in my collection. All right. Reason being is I'm a Star Wars fan and that is not Star Wars. Okay. All right. But they got to be public because it would defang a lot of people. It would finally show everybody that the bad actors are gone. They're gone, never come back. It would show their allies in the internet world that they no longer have any power to shape a narrative. And it would defang the black pills who just want to shit all over Star Wars. Okay? You know, who want to see the world burn. Hey, Carlos. You know, so it's like, guys, we need, this needs to happen. The public, the fans are begging to see Disney do something positive and not just put good shows out, because the black pills will shit all over them even if they are good. Okay? I mean, you know, and there are people who talk about it who aren't Star Wars fans who shit all over it. It's like, why are you talking about it? Why? You know, who sit there and say, well, I never read the EU. I never watched Clone Wars. Before you start mocking me and acting like I don't know what I'm talking about, I've read the EU and I've seen the Clone Wars and I've seen the prequels. I don't give a fuck if you don't like that stuff. All right? What I saw was consistent with who that character really was. All right? Again, Boba Fett was maybe in 10 minutes of 2 movies. He had 5 lines. That's it. That's it. All right. So when I think of the evolution of the character, which again, I'm not going to expect certain people to get what that even means. I don't expect them to. I expect the evolution of the character. I expect growth. I expect changes. All right. The only people in the world who don't think people change are left-wingers, are socialists, which is why they think they can engineer society. Because people don't change, people don't grow, people don't become adults. Okay, bullshit, right? And what I'm seeing and what I think we're going to see is A, the reason why he's doing what he's doing. B, you know, where's Han Solo in that? I mean, I'd be like, oh, there's Luke. You know, where's Han? You know, um, you know, I mean, but there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. And with the new uh, chairman of the board and Chapek finally unleashed, I think we're gonna see a lot of changes happening. And it's not gonna happen like this, boom, like a building collapsing. It's gonna be slow, steady, and it's gonna be, hopefully, somebody at Disney is listening to me. Please, for the love of all that is holy, tell us what's going on. Because I am so sick of not being able to have fun talking about Star Wars. Okay? If you don't love it like I love it, fine. But when you sit there and nastily talk about it, stuff you don't even understand, it's like, you know. Anyway, I gotta go. I've got some stuff I gotta take care of outside. And we've got, what time is it? I gotta take down some things outside. So I'm gonna rock. You all be good, and I'll see you around the galaxy.